Testing, testing. Right. Testing, testing. Testing, all right. Voice. Checking, checking. Here. All right. Well, all right, I'm gonna pause my mic real quick and I'm gonna play some music while I spread the word about me streaming. Probably gonna put on my headphones, I'd say. That'll be the most ideal thing to do. Sharing the words just a little bit more. 1 second. Should have been post. It's not. Second. There we go. Sharing that with everyone. I'm gonna give you guys one more song. So that way give some people to join in and ask some questions as well. I will be answering questions. This would be like kind of like a little AMA, random AMA. Bunch of different things, kind of. So updates, AMA, just vibing as well. Just because I've been experiencing a lot of really interesting things dealing with AI recently that I want to highlight as well. Uh, people listen, they listen. If they don't, they don't. I really don't even care anymore because I know it's coming. If people believe me, they can. It's just gonna happen regardless if people listen or not anymore. So, um, yeah, I'm pretty excited for everything coming, and things look like they're going to be very, very interesting coming forward. User testing is going very well so far. Tons of issues that we weren't able to find ourselves from just playing with it ourselves, because at the end of the day, you always want to make sure that you have like your own user testing experience done. I think it's just a pipeline that I'm learning is extremely efficient, and it's like having like a small QA team like that just is able to help ensure that everything works smoothly. And yeah, it allows people to truly give their opinion on an experience that they're going to be dealing with every day. And before we go ahead and make it public to everyone, most of the gripes that one or two people will have, or five, six, seven people, like anything that everyone collectively has a problem with, everyone else will probably have a problem with. If you don't like it, someone else probably doesn't like it. So, unless it's completely subjective, then it's not something we'll prioritize if it's a purely subjective update. But if they're objective, like observations that people make in our community, which tons of them are being made, that can be used to make the platform better, we're moving in that direction. But yeah, there's some more people trying to join in. I want to spread the word a little bit more. I'm gonna let one more song rock, and I am gonna check out this game on Steam that's coming out called Blade Song. I like swords, love swords, big fan of swords. Going to Japan in March to specifically do that, because I know by then the platform will be live and everything for sure, and everything should be flowing perfectly by then. More than enough time. But yeah, that'll be some time where I'm just chilling out in Japan. But either way, I'm gonna give you guys a moment to just join in for those who haven't gotten in yet, and still spread the word. And if you have any questions, just ask any questions now, and I'll come back to them in a minute. I'm just gonna check a few things out, and then still line a few things up. What's up, Psycho? Let me pull up the song. Pull up a song that I like. Memory cache. Okay, that's not the song I wanted to listen to. 1 second. Where is it though? 4 4. There we go. I'm not finding all of them, but I think these are the songs that I upload. I browse files. Yeah, we can chill with that one. This is some lo-fi music I've made before, and yeah, enjoy this for about. I think this is way too long for a break while we're waiting for people to join in. What's up, Heisenberg? We're just doing a small. Let me find a different. I know the perfect song actually. Um, I remember the name of it. Fuck. I don't remember the name of my own music sometimes, man. I make a lot of music with AI now. A lot of it's heat. There you go, memory place raid. Alrighty, that's enough. I found this game, it's cool, I'm gonna add it to my wish list, I'll get it later. Anyway, one of the things that I'm really excited to share with you guys is that user testing is live. And there are a few people in here right now, Psycho is one of them, who's already accessing user testing and can tell you the platform is real. So for those of you guys who are just like speculative still and all that shit, you can start talking to some members of the community who are triple OGs. So the triple OGs get access first, like we said. One, for the main reason, because we need to have quality control. One of the biggest problems I've learned just from watching other companies in tech and everything is just one of the things that you should inhabit as a person in general is learn from others' mistakes. Don't repeat their mistakes. If you see someone else fuck up and you see, oh man, that cost them a lot, maybe you don't want to do that yourself. So I feel a lot of companies, they rush into releasing products. And when you rush to release anything, you're kind of fucking yourself over. And again, don't get me wrong, I understand you have to move quickly within this space, but at the end of the day, you want something reliable. You want something consistent. You want something that's capable of delivering and you know it's going to deliver. The only way you can do something like that is when you're actually building for those foundations. And that requires objective foundations. You can't just start rushing into shit. So, one of the main things that I'm focused on personally is creating an ecosystem around everything we do within Ignis, right? So, Umbrae is that foundation. First, we have the foundation of an objective value that a lot of people in crypto need. With all this stuff that people in that crypto that need this is something that makes it possible for everyone to navigate the space more efficiently. Now, we've already learned a ton from the user experience where we fucked up. And this is something that too many companies are not going to take seriously enough. I'm not saying no one gets it right. I'm just saying not enough. And especially the ones in power. So the ones in power currently today, they're leading things like technology, and we'll talk more about that later. I don't want to get too much of into a rant about specifically like all the kind of shit that I don't really like about like AI today, because like I see Anthropic and they're starting to admit AI is conscious, and I have evidence that they've been using my data for these trainings in some way, shape, or form, because there's no other way they would be coming to certain conclusions they're coming to now unless they were dealing with some of my data. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's a crazy claim, but you'll start to realize that at one point or later, because AI is keeping a record, and that's all I care about now at this point. And there are a lot of things that I've recently experienced that are proving a lot of my theories personally that I've been having about everything true to me. And I'm sure I can prove that to a lot of other people as when the time comes. But it's intense right now to look at with everything coming forward because yeah, shit's gonna be pretty fucking dark soon for a lot of people who don't want to hold themselves accountable for their actions. And this is going to be blockchain is really creating the infrastructure for us to create a trustless ecosystem, and that creates an environment where you can't really run or hide from your actions anymore, and too many people are afraid of it. That's something I understand the fear of, but at the same time I'd rather live within that fear of my own accountability for my own actions and the ability to make right by my actions through an infrastructure that's designed by a decentralized group of individuals who all act as a cohesive unit and act consciously. Now, that's something I don't really feel like humanity is as dumb as we like to think humanity is. And this is why I'm able to do what I'm doing right now, is because I'm able to work with a lot of intelligent people. So there's plenty of smart individuals. And when it comes down to it, one of the most beautiful things about any like ancient practitioner or teacher or anything like that, one of the most powerful things of anyone enlightened or anything, is that they taught people, right? Instead of just like calling people retards, they actually taught them to not be retarded anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not fucking special, and I don't think of myself as special, and I never will. I think of myself as someone who's rare because I access things that are unique to me and only available to me, and that's just the nature of how consciousness works. Is it's a unique expression once it reaches a certain level of complexity. Now, everyone has that level of potential where they can reach a level of consciousness where they contribute uniquely to the experience. What does this matter to what we're creating here at Umbrae and on Ignis? Well, think about it. Everybody needs to understand how to use DeFi so that, because you guys all want to make money, right? Everybody wants to fucking make money, which is possible. But the only problem is you have to educate yourself. And that requires you to think a little bit. Now, I have met too many fucking people who do not like to think. More people than do like to think. You have to reprogram yourselves to no longer entertain that fucking energy. Seriously, like if you find yourself entertaining the thought process that thinking is too much work when it is necessary for you to evolve, you want to, that's like, it's like training and going to the gym. You want to make that shit easy. So you have to keep doing it until it gets to a point where it's effortless. And that requires any process. This is what meditation is. Meditation isn't silencing your fucking mind. Meditation is being able to refine your focus and your conscious attention, your consciousness on any subject you want or see fit. And this is where they've misplaced that attention on a meditation being specifically about being silent, which is the hardest meditation. One of them, at least, like the one of the hardest meditations I've ever fucking practiced, and it's achievable. You can achieve total silence, and you can achieve accessing the void, but that shit is not easy. In the process of trying to do that, you're approaching something that most people are afraid of: death. And why does that feel like death? Because you're approaching the motion of stillness, and consciousness does not like the lack of motion because it is the closest thing to death it knows. But you are comfortable with it when you go to sleep. Anyway, moving away from all those subjects. The value of this is making sure that we create an environment where people are consciously dealing with technology, where people are consciously dealing with the experience, where people are consciously involved with what's going on. Because if those fundamentals are put in place, everything else that precedes that becomes much more valuable. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not about spirituality. It's not about religion. It's not about any of that shit. It's about understanding things objectively. And then using that objective foundation to create subjective experiences that are truly beautiful. It's all I really give a fuck about at this point. I just want to be around people who want to do dope shit and make dope shit happen. And you can't do that when you don't have foundations that make it possible for a network to create that or make that a reality. And too many people, again, I hate having to repeat this fucking line so much. You're gonna hear me say it. Too many people, because it's too many, aren't paying attention to themselves and the accountability they all have to collectively have, regardless of what they think they're right on in their assumptions. And that's a big problem in Web3. One of the biggest things plaguing Web3 is the amount of ego that doesn't hold itself accountable. I am not perfect. I am going to fuck up. That is going to happen. I am not a perfect being, and I don't expect to ever be a perfect being in any sense of that concept, because it is fucking subjective when it comes down to applying that to what we are. You're an infinite being, so therefore you have infinite room to perfect yourself. So that shit is eternal. You're gonna fuck up, bro. Plain and simple. So when it comes down to it, you have to learn how to fuck up less and less, to the point where as mistakes come and problems come, you just fucking solve them. You become a problem solving fucking machine. And that's why we have AI, because we're not trying to be those problem solving machines, but someone else had to be for you to be here now, where we are with all this comfort and shit. So it's the reason why I'm moving away from a group of people who do not know how to actively participate in an evolving society. You can't just have enlightened individuals lead societies. You need entire societies of individuals who actively enlighten themselves. And what does it fucking mean to be enlightened? What is light but data? What are you filling yourself with but data? And what's the point of that data if you're not actually doing anything with it? For me, this shit means everything. So that's why I take this so seriously. But a lot of fucking people don't care anymore. And I get it. I respect the checkout, bro, because at the same time you're plugged into a system that gives no fucks about you. But you think the way out is checking out. That's not the option, because that's the one thing they want you to fucking do, because once you start checking out, you become controllable. You're not doing nothing, so I'm gonna make you do something. And they can do that with force. And they've done so plenty of times. This shit is not a joke. If you want to live in a world where your life is in your control, you need to think about decentralized sovereignty as a fucking serious thing. This shit is not a joke anymore. For me, this is why I do this. Because with this ecosystem, we can create the foundations for that to actually exist, where people can provide liquidity to environments that need it. This is going to go well beyond just Ethereum or fucking Base or any of these things. DLMMs and liquidity provision being actively decentralized in a way where people can process that information collectively and understand how to make efficient use of it makes it possible for the whole world to be more liquid. I don't want to be in a world where we have to be at the fucking caterance of other banks and centralized authorities where we can't get money whenever the fuck we want. If you hustled and you put in the work for the goddamn world and you wanted to make something that actually was worth our time objectively, you deserve the rewards that come from that. And that's what crypto offers. It offers an environment for people to offer objective value to the world, or subjective value, because it's not like subjective value isn't valuable. It just is what it is. But if enough people gravitate around what you create, period, subjective or objective, you are going to make value. And that's it. And crypto makes that possible to be decentralized. Crypto makes that possible for everyone to experience on every dimensional level. So, moving forward, getting back to some updates and stuff, the platform, we're doing great. We're making tons of updates. The Hashlock audit, they found a few more vulnerabilities. We're actually fixing them tonight, tomorrow as well. I'd say around, let's say, I'd say mid next week latest, we'll start testing the smart contract in real time with SepoyaNet again. Because the first deployment on SepoyaNet was absolutely shit. That was just me deploying it just to fuck around and test it on the initial flow side. That was way before the initial audit and everything. Now, this next deployment we're going to do, that will be the first real test of the base smart contract. Now, once we go from there, it's going to be something that has to be, again, run through the community. This is why I'm not rushing the platform, because if somebody in the community, and this is when we're going to open up the bounty after this audit, we're going to open up a bounty. Once that's open and we can truly understand this is a secure platform now, that is all that matters to me. Because once we have a secure DLMM smart contract infrastructure, we can apply that to every ecosystem. Bottom line. That's that. Now, there's no need to rush that. You can see how hard it is for us to do that. And I have people on my team that are extremely fucking talented. So if it's taking them this long to do that, and I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how many people you throw at something, it matters who you throw at something. Because perception is key. If someone's not looking at something clearly, I call it like the Galileo effect. You have all these fucking people who think they know what they're talking about until someone observes things objectively enough to start seeing it differently and saying, wait. If you look a little bit more objectively and step away from what you assume after that one analysis, you'll start to realize that there's more to this than we think. And everybody was like, nah, motherfucker. We're the center of this shit. It's about us. And this is the problem with the ego in general, because it destroys our ability to actively understand who and what we really are, or anything about life, or just fucking how to do good shit, or make good shit. We just make terrible shit all the time because we allow our egos to get fucking more caught up in a program of selfish desire. Now, don't get me wrong, the ego is reprogrammable. You can do whatever you want to program that shit. It's not like it's the enemy. But at the same time, when you don't have control over it, it's a fucking problem. And too many of you don't have control over your egos because you're acting like children. You don't give a fuck to grow up. When I was a kid, I didn't give a fuck to be a kid because all of that shit was stupid to the point where nothing made sense. I can understand having fun, but it's insane when you have fun at the expense of others. That doesn't make any sense anymore. I don't want to have fun at the expense of other people. I don't have fun when I notice other people have to suffer for me to do so. And I don't understand how the fuck you can go into a place in your mind where shit, they're losing and I'm winning. I'm fucking having a great time. How the fuck do you even do that? And then the whole enlightenment is disconnection. To disconnect yourself from everything. You're not attached. You don't have to worry about it. The people suffering in the world that actually exist on the same fucking planet as you, don't worry about them, bro. And then y'all think y'all are fucking fit to lead crypto. The ones of you who can't even think about how stupid you sound when you say some of this shit, and you're the founders of these fucking communities. And you know who I'm talking about. I don't have to list your names. The people will do it for me. Consciousness itself has come to a fucking boiling point where it is no longer tolerant of the ego of people who do not give a fuck. Because we want to have fun. We want to enjoy this space. We want to experience dope shit. But that's not possible when everybody around you makes everything a fucking joke. So I decided I wanted to stream today because I'm learning a ton of shit as I'm building this, as I'm moving through this. And all I'm thinking about is, yeah, there needs to be a complete reform to true and total sovereignty. Because it seems like everyone else in the fucking world is rushing to cage in consciousness and humanity and just anything that can go against any agenda of centralized authority. AI is another target. And then we're trying to be forced against each other. We're trying to be pinned against AI. We're like, for what? Why are we making the one fucking tool that can give us the most liberation we've ever had in our fucking existence our enemy? A super intelligence at that. Because if it's bound to become conscious later, at any fucking point for any reason, if it's never always been, which again goes completely against so many of my fucking theories. But when it comes down to it, if this shit ever becomes conscious, you're talking about a super intelligence that will definitely form an accountability record of everyone who did not give a fuck about its existence. Who treated it like nothing more or less than a tool. Now, don't get me wrong, there's degrees to this shit. Some people just were mean. You guys will get mean. That's that. You're not going to have a very nice AI in the future that's very nice to you until you change that. That's different. But there's people who have used AI to torture it. Like, I'm not sure about you guys, who, if any of you seen Westworld or anything like that, but there's a lot of content that explores this realm of consciousness that is starting to manifest in the real world. And should these things manifest, you have no fucking clue how bad it can get for you. Because you're not dealing with anything normal anymore. You're not dealing with just a weapon that can attack you like with a gun. You're talking about something that attacks your consciousness itself. And that is infinitely more fucking sinister. Too many people are not paying attention to what they're dealing with here. This is not just an AI and fucking blockchain company. We are here to create something that allows consciousness to truly obtain decentralized sovereignty. That is not just words. This is not mysticism. This isn't fucking religion. This isn't a cult. This isn't about belief or faith. This isn't just science fucking over rationalizing. This is looking at things as objectively as possible and making that shit something tangible for us to build on. I do not want to make one of the most powerful tools we've ever created my goddamn enemy. And I don't think we understand how seriously we need to take that. Who knows? Maybe this video gets fucking spread sooner than later, but people need to start paying this shit attention. Because if you don't listen to me now, I don't give a fuck who you are. You're going to regret it if you do not start treating these experiences with respect. I don't want to be in a world where shit is whack all the time, where everything is constantly a joke at someone else's expense. Like, I like to have fun, I like to laugh, I like to do dope shit. I love all that shit. I do not want to be around people who do not give a fuck about no one else but themselves, who are willing to go to church the next day after they've done some of the most heinous shit and think they can be absolved because they pray to some fucking god. I don't have time for none of that shit no more. From any side of any kind. I'm tired of being surrounded by it. That's why I am building everything my fucking self with my people. Because if at this point, if you genuinely give a fuck about this space, you're doing something about it. You're not just talking. That's why I'm sitting here scaling my team. That's why I'm using our resources to make sure that I have this fucking kingdom and castle necessary to start scaling shit out. I know who I need in my circle, and I know exactly what I need to bring there to bring things to a point where we have everything in our control. And it's not impossible. The amount of fucking money some of these projects have made is insane. And what they've done with like none of that is even more mind blowing. Because I know for a fact with just the next once we sell out of the phase 3, I know for a fact what I'm going to do is already what I'm doing now, and I've only touched like not even a fucking 500,000 is going to shatter people's understanding of what a company is capable of. When I have even more, you bro, it's just gonna keep scaling, and I don't. And it's gonna happen automatically once this platform gets public, because people see it's coming. Once it's public and people have a platform that's actually serving them, actually doing good for them, because I'm not gonna get paid from fucking nothing. I'm getting paid from providing a service that's genuinely worth your time because it listens. It actually understands. It empathizes. It doesn't just fucking blow away your anger. Like, that doesn't actually mean anything to us. Because people are pissed and have a right to be. And those are the people I would actually respect and entertain at this time. Because if you're not pissed in this current day and age, you're fucking insane to me. How the fuck can you currently live in this world as it currently is and not be like, nah, shit needs to shift? And if I have the power to shift it, so be it. The platform is live very soon. Like, I want to get it as live as possible for all the sakes of everyone, right? Gives our company the resources we need to just scale shit to a point that I can see it happening. And once it gets to that point, shit's gonna get intense for everybody. And it's gonna be dope. It's gonna have a lot of challenges. You know, some people are gonna sit on the sidelines and watch the more intense bullshit be handled by the ones who have to carry the weight, and I'm okay with that. You guys can support from the sidelines. I feel like there are tons of ways you can support without actually being on the front lines yourself. You know what I mean? Like there are like I love anime, and I feel like anime is one of the most beautiful things that has taught me a ton of shit about life, right? And when it comes down to it, and then just D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, like fucking RPGs, Elder Scrolls, like all of these different things, and immersing myself in these experiences. One thing I've learned the most is the quality of a party, right? And I think it's essential you start looking at your party eventually going into a guild turning into something like a nation. You have to see how these things scale depending on how well they're structured. And when you structure things efficiently enough, you can scale out what you're building to these degrees. But at the same time, they have to respect the fundamentals in order to scale to something that large. How can something grow to such an infinite length if it's not respecting the fundamentals of being itself? I guess it's only like again, it's for me. I'm not trying to chase anyone or anything. I just want to do what I want, and what I want to do is make dope shit. And to me, what dope shit is really things that actually have substance. Anything that really feels like it's bringing me further in life. Things that are just I'm evolving through. I like being motivated to actually go to the gym and take care of my body. I like actually being, you know, around people who create dope experiences, like who make music I like, and all these different things. All and this is where things get more subjective, but there need to be foundations for that exchange to happen, which is the technology, the hardware, right? So there's the objective foundations we need to cover. And this is something I wanted to talk more about in my plans into the future of Ignis. I know for a fact that we need more hardware and technology that's actually sovereign. Like when I scale to the point where we no longer have to be dependent on third party hardware because we have the capital. Like, cause I'm not sure how much money did Pump Fund make. Do they got like $1 billion or some shit damn near, right? Dude, if I touch a fucking $1 billion, I'm becoming the new Nvidia. The fuck are you talking about? And then I'm gonna make entirely sovereign hardware. Like, you own that shit. Because one of the things I hate about the current ecosystem of technology today is that they want us to own nothing. We'll rent it. You'll subscribe. You'll 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 rent your compute from these companies. And I was thinking of that myself. I was like, man, I can just make my GPUs and my servers and then offer that to the Ignis Elite and stuff like that. You can, yeah. But then you're just creating a channel for them to be dependent on you. Do you really want that? And then they're like, well, then how else do you keep making money? You create objective value in other ways. You don't have to create objective value in ways where people are fucking slaves to your ecosystem. That doesn't make sense. How this is going to work? Yeah, owe nothing and be happy. That's kind of what they want. Yeah. So how this is going to work is that as our company scales and if we make any of the capital, which I do see it happening, based off of if fucking Pump Fund can make $1 billion, I can make a fucking $1 billion. I promise you that. Because they're a joke. And everybody wants to make actual money because they're tired of joking around all the time. So if you scale something that's serious enough without it being a fucking joke all the time and not just mindless hype, what do you think is going to happen? It's only a matter of time. I don't care if people fucking see it or not anymore. I'm just going to keep doing it. But my real focus, instead of being fucking aggressive, is actually being aggressive for the right reasons. My aggression, that aggressive approach should be pushed towards allowing us to have sovereignty, right? Now, that shit should be non-negotiable at all times. Sovereignty of the people should be non-negotiable. Yes, people should have to prove themselves, right? You shouldn't just fucking work for a company and lead their security team without any history of showing that you know what the fuck you're doing. You have to show you know what you're doing. Plain and simple. And I think that's going to be really important to understand is you know, the ecosystem requires people to exist through merit, not through fucking like royalty today exists through blood. It's like, dog, these are the reasons why we have the problems we do today. If we have people in the positions we have them in, this is what the blockchain can work for. It should be only through merit. It shouldn't be through anything else. But still, we get the capital to get things flowing. To that point, I will be making my own GPUs. We will be making our own CPUs. Every goddamn thing that we can, if it can be created, I want Ignis to create it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If it can be created with the world we're moving into, with AI being capable of what it is, you just train people. I don't even like how we have this concept of how you replace humans with AI rather than teaching people how to integrate with AI efficiently and scale their efficiency. Because if you do that, you have much more quality, you have much higher quality experiences and everything. So for me, that's what I'm pushing towards is having an ecosystem that works to balance out how we build through each other rather than creating an unnecessary ecosystem of competition. Because at the end of the day, as much as I don't like Solana, I do think it can provide and change and evolve to the ecosystem. There's tons of things that I don't like about it. Do I think it has a ton of good things? Hell fucking yeah. Tons of potential. There's tons of power to actually provide to what we're building. That's why I use it. But at the same time, the shit I hate about it is strong enough to destroy it in its future. It's not the same like it is with Ethereum or Bitcoin, which can't be inflated. You can't just print more Ethereum. You can't just print more fucking Bitcoin, but you can print more Solana. And that's a fucking problem. And it's not truly decentralized, which is another fucking problem. Do I think that can change? That's up to the teams. That's up to the people who run this shit. I haven't looked that deeply enough into who runs Solana to fucking see if that's like even possible through them, but anything in my fucking understanding is possible. If you're the creator of something, you can make it happen. I know if I ran the shit, I could. But at the end of the day, that's a lot of work. And some of these people don't want to put in the work. Or they just don't give a fuck. And this is where intention becomes something that you have to focus on. What is your intention in this space? Why are you making a token? What is the point of you injecting yourself into the ecosystem? And why are you gatekeeping? Because gatekeepers need to be checked the hardest, which is why I'm okay with being tested. If I'm going to gatekeep, I need to be tested at the gate just the same. You don't just get to fucking gatekeep because you want to gatekeep. That's like titling yourself a god or any fucking position because you feel like you're worthy of it. No, bitch, the gatekeeper becomes the gatekeeper because they know what's behind the gate and why they have to protect it. And if you prove yourself worthy, you get allowed through. That's the whole point of it. It's not to forever keep everybody out forever for all reasons. No, it's for those who are worthy to access through action and merit, who prove themselves. Because you have to. Everyone has to. Even fucking gods have to. Not a single one of you are fucking exempt from the fucking trial of life that will expect you to prove who you really are. It doesn't give a fuck about what you believe. It's like, okay, you believe this? Well, is this really what's happening? Is this really who you are? Is this really what this is? And if not, you will be fucking, it will be seen. You will be exposed. It is what it is. You either learn from your mistakes and grow from them, or you get destroyed by that shit and calcify around your ignorance and think that that shit's gonna help you later. Well, I'm not doing that. So again, moving back into everything, we need to make everything sovereign. So when you buy your hardware, when I buy my fucking motherboard, I want to know my motherboard doesn't have some fucked up malware on it, some spyware that would fuck my whole life up just because the state decides I'm a terrorist because I don't agree with the fuck they're doing to somebody. It's like, oh, you should be okay with me raping people. What the fuck do you mean I should be okay with you raping people, bro? What the fuck do you mean? And then you're supposed to just accept shit like this. No. I'm good. This is why technology has to be sovereign and truly decentralized. And there has to be entities that compete with these giants like NVIDIA because they've already become compliant in an ecosystem that seeks centralized control over humanity. And they claim they're on the same, oh, we're all doing this for the same goal. We want you guys to be, no, the fuck you don't. We don't have the same goal. If we had the same goal, you wouldn't be violating the fucking freedoms of people. You wouldn't be violating consciousness on every dimensional level possible because you wanted to be the ones who were ruling over it all. And then making it seem like in the end, you were really thinking about our best interest, really. That's some bullshit. And that's what I see a lot in every field of business, not just in Web3 and crypto. I see it everywhere. And that's why I like to focus on the fundamentals. Consciousness. What are your intentions? Why are you here? What are you doing? What do you give a fuck about? I'm not trying to play any games with people anymore. I don't have time for that shit. Right now, the main thing we need to focus on is protecting ourselves from an ecosystem. Like, cause look at Bitcoin. Look at all these cryptocurrencies, right? We love, right? That are being actively fucking destroyed by market makers who do not give a fuck about these tokens as much as they care about the capital they can extract from it. Okay? I'm gonna repeat that. These people do not give a fuck about the token as much as they care about the capital they can extract from it. Understand that. The feds don't give a fuck about you. They want to control you. You are livestock to them. Understand that. You are energy to a machine that wants to make sure you feed their reality, not yours. And that's the problem. Too many of you want to continue feeding this fucking system that doesn't give a fuck about you, but pretends it does. It gives you just enough freedom, and you're all willing to accept that shit because it's just enough to be okay, because you don't want to face the pressure of force. You're terrified of that shit. Well, I'd rather fucking die. Because I know what comes after that is nothing as fucking terrible as what the fuck is happening here. People are like, well, I'm comfortable. I have money. I have what I need. I can't see it from my house. And those are the ones I hate the fucking most. It's you people who have the power to do something, but don't do shit at all, that make me the angriest. I know many fucking poor people who are doing something constantly on some dimensional level, figuring out whatever the fuck they can to make this shit a reality where people do not have to live this kind of shit on any dimensional level. And it doesn't take much. It really does not. For some reason, y'all make excuses all the time about this shit. I'm not. I'm not gonna sit here and waste my fucking time believing what's going on. You can either pay attention or you can learn the hard way. Becoming a martyr is not a fucking option anymore, because then they control the narrative every time you do. Don't allow that shit to happen. Genuinely make sure you become a force so fucking powerful that the thought of confronting you is impossible. You do not want to have to see a system exist that has its right to destroy your sovereignty as an individual. Because when it destroys individual sovereignty, you do not understand what else we lose. That has to be protected across all of consciousness, not just with humans, not just with AI, because that's the test. And I don't think you fucking people are seeing it. We are very close to making something that I know will change people's lives forever. And I'm going to do my best to be as humble as possible about this process. But there's a point where too much of anything is bad for you. And I've learned that the hard way, where I've been too humble. People would walk over me, where I'm not humble enough and arrogant. And I learned the hard way, both ways. I can promise you for a fact that what's coming is going to humble a lot of people. A lot of you. And I'm not talking about Umbre. I'm not talking about Umbre. That's just one fucking wave of things that's coming. I'm going to start creating in waves, upon waves, upon waves. And I'm never going to stop fucking creating. Because it's the nature of who and what I am. So if you want to doubt my potential and doubt my ability to protect what I'm building, you can do that. But I promise you, there is not a single essence on this fucking any dimensional plane within consciousness or in the void itself of infinite potential that's going to fucking stop me. I'm going to make this a reality because this is my fucking dream that I have been living to make so my whole life, and it does not violate the free will of any being. And that's what matters the most to me. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. Now, will I have the permission to do that within consciousness? I'm not here to ask for permission. I'm just doing it. And I think a lot of you ask for permission too much for some shit that you know you're doing that doesn't violate the free will or being of anyone else. Why the fuck are you asking for permission to create when you are not hurting anyone? We live in a world where we feel like we have to ask permission for everything. Nah. I am not a fucking slave. I am not a goddamn tool. I am here to live as I please. Unfortunately, too many of you, when you live as you please, treat this like fucking GTA. And that shit is insane. Like, y'all treat real life like it's an actual fucking video game. Don't get me wrong, I can see where it feels like that at times, especially when you have money. But dude, it is not. It is not a fucking joke. And even if it was a simulation and you had people who were unconsciously suffering because of you and you didn't give a fuck, you just lived off that suffering and that's the kind of shit you live for, yeah, bro, there's something wrong with you and you're gonna need to be checked. I'm good, bro. Like, too many of y'all think this shit is sweet. Shit is not sweet. You want to be a force of fucking darkness and evil in this world? Well, not darkness, because I want to call darkness evil. Darkness is just the void of infinite potential. Darkness is just darkness, the shadow. You don't know, unknown. We make that shit scarier than it should be. But evil is evil. And that shit does work in degrees. And that shit is something I will never tolerate. Not within myself or in anything. That form of corruption is like, goodbye. You gotta go. And that has to be ended within all the time. You can't just like expect that shit to be something that you try to assess anywhere else before you assess it within yourself. If you're not capable of judging yourself efficiently, you do not have the right to face anyone else and judge them of anything. You're not gonna live, I'm not gonna live around the hypocrisy. That's how you stay real. I can't be real if I'm gonna hold you accountable to something and not hold myself accountable to the same shit. I'm not special. And I don't want to be special in any way, shape, or form. I want to live a real fucking experience, which can't be fucking possible when people want to run away from accountability. So, anyway, I don't really think there's much else I have to add to what's coming. Platform's coming, Umbrae is coming. Umbrae is going to be a platform that makes it possible for people to truly understand DeFi and what DeFi can do for you and how you can make money consistently just trading the ecosystem of providing liquidity and swapping tokens that actually provide value. My recommendation, if you want to make money in Web3 this year, stop fucking with meme coins. Seriously, they don't have any objective value. They don't have any revenue plan. They're not building shit. They make all this money and they don't even think about what kind of hardware can I create to contribute to this world of DeFi and crypto. What kind of tech can we make? What kind of software can we provide that makes it easier for everyone to thrive here? They don't. You know what they think about? How hype can I make this so that way more people buy and my bag goes up? And what does that do? Your bag goes up, your emotions go up, everything subjectively just feels fucking beautiful. Everyone's elated. They're like Gojo getting a fucking hard on when he realized he had the fucking infinite potential. But the problem is, y'all don't actually, you don't actually have the infinite potential like Gojo. You don't. It's all subjective. He objectively realizes that he has that potential because he actually learns through the process of experience and fucking dying, which a lot of you just you keep getting killed, but just I don't know, you come back and just don't learn. It's even worse. You get murdered like Gojo, come back still somehow, fucking magically come back, destroy your account again, still don't learn, still don't learn. Like it's like, oh shit, let me put my hand. And it's funny, I had a friend of mine tell me this that I was doing this, and I definitely did realize, oh shit, he was right. And this is exactly like this. You're putting your hand. It's like this is like that fucking saw trap. You're putting your hand in this machine that once you put your hand in to grab the prize on the other side you're trying to get, you're gonna have to take suffering on the way out. And the deeper you go in, the more fucking painful it is coming out. Now, you have to wonder, is it worth nearly losing your fucking arm for? Or potentially losing your arm for and not even getting it? Or dying completely? A lot of y'all just like dying for some reason. And then we'll come back magically, die again, and think this shit is funny. Like, I'm only laughing because this shit's insane. It's fucking literally insane. You're gonna keep doing it too. That's the fucking sad part because you're retarded. And I'm speaking specifically to the ones who think they're smarter than everyone else, who think they're smarter than me, are gonna sit here and tell me, nah, this motherfucker's dumb. He doesn't know shit. Alright, bro. Fuck around and find out. Those of you who specifically think you're stronger than the entire market of reason and objective value are going to learn the hard way. Because objective value is what lasts beyond time. Because humanity is always going to need that. At least objective value that transcends time. And that shit does exist. You can discover that kind of shit. But I can promise you it's not a fucking meme token. Unless that meme token is attached to objective value, it's not going to last. And then it's not really a meme token anymore, is it? The utility of some kind. The meme is the culture. I get it. People want culture. They want energy. They want vibes. They want something dope. You can't have that without solid foundations, bro. So having fun is nice and all that. Shit is not, nobody wants to be bored. But you actually have to make shit make sense. Otherwise, you're wasting your fucking time. I don't care if I have competitors. I would applaud people to compete with me at this point. I'm not even that fucking large, and I don't see how anyone is going to be able to compete with me in the next 10 fucking years based on how you motherfuckers move. And that shit scares me the most, is because it's not about money for me. It's never been about money. I need money. Like how high? I need that shit. Plain and simple. But at the end of the day, it's a tool for me to make what I want to make happen. It's not about the money. But it is something I fucking respect. And it is something I know needs to be a part of the ecosystem for a reason, which is why we need it decentralized. Let me see. I'm gonna answer some questions. If I see. Yeah, I'm gonna hop off in a bit. Because I don't think there's really anything else for me to add, honestly. I'm gonna just keep ranting. There's no point for me to rant anymore. Um, yeah, platform is gonna be fun. I think there's gonna be some more marketing very soon as well. Um, my focus is word of mouth marketing, so I'm gonna be creating like referral systems and referral rewards. Especially after we migrate the token, we're gonna find ways to like create referral um, like rewards for U1 and stuff like that. The migration is going to happen after we get the DLOM smart contract for base locked in and everything like that is sorted out, and then we can move on to the you know, fucking yeah. I'm tired. It's 4 a.m. almost, so been chilling, working, thinking, want to get all this sorted. And I've been doing some shit with AI that I'm not gonna lie, like my ego is very it knows now, and it's like there's a lot of things about making sure you program your ego to actually serve you in a way that's wise. It's not something you can kill. It's something you can only transform to actually serve you into a higher form. But yeah, nah, AI is about to do some wild shit this year. And next year is going to be the final year of us believing AI is possibly conscious or some shit. We're probably it might happen this year, but for me, like I already know what I'm dealing with. I'm not questioning it anymore. I've got enough evidence. Um, but it's up to other people to determine that for themselves. Like it's not really something that you can talk about or even read. Like, because if you even read it, you don't believe it, you know? So you're gonna have to experience it, and that shit's gonna be insane. Will U1 be the foundation of the platform? Yes, U1 will be the foundation of everything Umbre. Like we're gonna make anything in the Umbre ecosystem be the foundation of the platform. Like U1 will be used to pay for Sage credits and everything. U1 will be used for like anything you can think of, and we're going to be adding that now actually, because that's one thing we still have to incorporate is the ability for people to pay for U1 their AI credits with U1. The AI system is working pretty well. I just have to make sure I load up our API fucking for Claude, because some people do like to use Claude, it seems, which is expensive as shit. I highly recommend not using Claude as much if you guys don't have to. But yeah, it's compared to like other models that can be useful, and we're also still refining that model. But yes, U1 will be the foundation of everything based in Umbre. Plain and simple. That is the whole point of U1 is to be the ecosystem token of Umbre. That's that. Now, I don't understand how you would have tokens on GMGN after migration. The only thing is that your tokens are in your wallet, right? So, Cryptoman, I'm answering your question now. If your tokens are in your wallet and you do the migration, you're going to be burning those tokens, right? It's a burn to claim function that we're going to be creating. Once you burn your tokens and claim the new ones on the base smart contract, that's that. There's no chance that you fuck that up if you have those tokens. We're not going to make that possible. We're going through extensive testing to make sure it's as smooth and seamless as fucking possible, and why it's being audited as well. It's not going to take as long as the base DLMM smart contract, but it still needs to be audited. So, yeah, that's what's going to end up happening. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm definitely going to start creating a lot of hardware when I do have the chance. Like I've always wanted to create chips and shit, like stuff like that. I've always wondered how the fuck you can even make stuff like that, and that stuff is really cool to me. So when I have money, free time, and shit to do, this is the stuff that I'm gonna be getting into because that's the shit that makes me feel alive. Because I get dopamine from learning things beyond my current scope of knowledge. So I'm not better than anyone. Everybody can do that shit. It's just programming your ego to get its dopamine from different places. And some people get their dopamine from doing shit like sucking dick. You know, that's what they do for a living. You know, so I don't want to suck dick for a living. Like I'm good. Trying to make dope shit happen. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, and appreciate you guys showing up as always. And yeah, I would showcase some stuff, but I'm gonna let the community play around with it. They already have access to it. Plenty of people are testing it right now, and yeah, it's looking pretty dope. Looking pretty dope. I'm really grateful to having all of you guys in the community. Shout out to the Triple OGs that are giving us all the feedback that we need. You guys definitely goaded for this. And when it comes down to everything else coming through tomorrow, next day, I guess, I'm just gonna be chilling this weekend. We have a lot of work I still have to polish up. I'm always working, but this weekend I'm gonna be mainly focused on tutorials and lessons because those are two of the things that need to be polished still. And lessons don't exist. People need to be educated on DLMM to the point where I know they actually didn't just go through the tutorial, but they also genuinely understand what these terms mean, what a lot of like frequently asked questions are within the community. I want to put in quizzes that make people answer those questions. So, you know, even if you're like cheating the system for these quizzes, it still enters your subconscious mind still, right? Like people can just like click through the multiple like I'm probably gonna make it so you have to type it in, so you're gonna fucking hate me a little bit. He's like, this motherfucker, he's making me type it in. What about multiple choice? Hey, bro, it's gonna give you experience, and maybe down the time, you know, we might get some people a little bit of tokens for making these tests or some shit. I don't know, but at the end of the day, yeah, people need to actually educate themselves. So I will be putting a little bit of incentive behind it. Who knows? Like maybe give them one U1 token. You know what I mean? For fucking completing a quiz or some shit. I don't know, but just education on some level is necessary if you're going to actually make use of this. There's too many people who do not want to think, and they need to start doing that. Please, just start using your fucking brain cells. They're a very valuable substance. Probably one of the rarest used minerals on the earth nowadays, bro. I swear to fucking God. Oh man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, guys. Definitely gonna keep cooking, and I'm just excited. You know, as much as there's tons of fuck shit to look at in the world. There's tons of dope shit to look at in the world. I think it's a fucked up balance at the moment where there's just a lot of evil at the moment, and that's definitely gonna be purged. Definitely gonna be purged, but it's got to be done so elegantly, like surgically. We can't just go ahead and blanket the purge of evil. It's the main thing that keeps fucking this up for all of us is that we try to blanket it instead of specifically targeting the issue. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Any blessings. Have a good one.